This is really a story about struggle, about perspective, and ultimately about growth. It's a story for anyone out there who has ever tried to do something really, really difficult. It's about building your own architecture of flight. And it all kicks off with this simple, but honestly pretty deep question. It just perfectly frames the journey, right? It's not some straight shot to success. It's a process that feels like it starts with failure. And I'm willing to bet you felt that exact same way yourself. So let's dive into that first part of the journey. This is the tough part. It's filled with frustration and that nagging feeling that, well, maybe we're just not cut out for this thing we're trying to do. Okay, so picture this little bird. It's standing on the edge of a cliff, and it sees all the other birds soaring around, just effortlessly. But every single time this bird tries, it drops. Not like a huge catastrophic fall, but just this constant, discouraging little dip downwards. And here's the thing that really matters. The failures weren't big enough to, physically hurt it, but they happened over and over and over again, just enough to chip away at its confidence. It's the kind of fall that hurts your spirit way more than your body.
And this is where that constant struggle inevitably leads, right? To self-doubt. The bird starts to take all that falling personally, questioning its own nature, its own potential. It starts to believe that the limits it's hitting are permanent.
So, in response to all this doubt and pain, what does the bird do? And really, what do we so often do? We pull back. We look for something that feels safe, even if it's not what we actually want. And that's what happens. The bird basically gives up on the sky and just stays on the cliff's edge. And yeah, it's safe. It's not falling anymore, but it's also not flying. And that safety comes with a huge price tag. It's dreams. It's left in this state of just quiet, simmering frustration.
But then, something clicks. A shift in perspective. This is that turning point where just watching, just observing, leads to this huge revelation about the one thing the bird thought was its enemy, the wind.
Watching the other birds, our little bird has this total epiphany. It realizes the master flyers aren't just getting lucky. They're not avoiding the wind's power. No, they are actively engaging with it. They're using its currents to their advantage. The thing it thought was an obstacle was actually the path forward. And this right here shows that mental shift perfectly. The wind didn't change at all. The bird's understanding of it changed. It went from seeing the wind as this unpredictable problem to seeing it as a teacher. This is the core lesson, right here. All those little drops, those so-called failures, they weren't the end of the story. They were just data. Each little fall was a lesson in balance, a masterclass in timing, a reminder to be patient. The sky wasn't rejecting the bird. It was training it. Okay, so armed with this totally new mindset, the bird shifts from just being frustrated to actively learning. It's time to actually put this new idea into practice. So instead of fighting the wind, the bird starts to kind of dance with it. Look at these steps. When the wind pushes down, it adjusts. When the current lifts up, it leans right into that momentum. It learns to find its center, a point of stability right in the middle of all that chaos. It's not about avoiding the fall anymore. It's about navigating it. And then this amazing thing happens. The experience of rising up, of soaring, it becomes so much more meaningful. That lift from the updraft feels so much sweeter because the bird now knows what the downdraft feels like. The struggle is what gave the success its beautiful context. So through this whole process of adjusting and learning again and again, the fear just starts to fade away. What was once terrifying becomes familiar. The sky isn't some monster anymore. It's a partner. It's home. All right, now let's bring this powerful idea back to us, because this story, it's not really just about a bird, is it? It's about the architecture of our own lives, of our own growth. Here's the most important point. A life without challenges, a life that's just a flat line that doesn't build any resilience. It's the turbulence, the winds, the ups and the downs. That's what builds the strength we need to really soar. Those struggles aren't proof that we're failing. They're proof that we're moving. And this leaves us with two simple but super powerful rules to live by. When things are going great, when you're rising, stay humble. Remember that updraft is helping you out. And when things are tough, when you feel like you're falling, stay learning. Remember that downdraft is trying to teach you something. Let's just sit with this incredible line for a second. It completely reframes our relationship with adversity. Challenges aren't punishments. They are your curriculum. Life's difficulties aren't there to prove you can't do it. They're there to show you how you can. And that leaves us with one final thought to take with you. Just take a moment and think about the challenges you're facing right now. What if they aren't just obstacles?
What if they're actually lessons in disguise? So, what is the wind teaching you?